Well, interesting times here in Nigeria, and of course, it's no longer news that the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has been declared the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress. Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State in southwest of Nigeria, defeated Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Ahmad Lawan, and the Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amaechi, as well as others, to emerge as the party's flag bearer for the 2023 election in Nigeria. Now considered a helmsman in the party, Tinubu's emergence throws the 2023 election open, with other parties also declaring their candidates. There are many topical issues to look into on Tinubu's emergence and Nigeria's fate in 2023, and on VSA, we'll keep you up to date with these issues. Welcome, I'm Sulaiman. After an election that lasted several hours, the national leader of the APC, Tinubu, emerged as the Nigerian ruling party's presidential candidate. Tinubu had last week gone on a verbal outburst in what's now known as the Abeokuta speech. He revealed some details that many stalwarts have reacted against. On this basis, the build-up to the primary held several tales of political twist, vying against former persons in government and some of the most powerful people in the party. Tinubu defeated the next aspirant, Rotimi Amaechi, by at least 900 votes, proof of his popularity in the party. Now, to many APC members, Atiku's emergence makes the candidacy of Tinubu an utmost necessity, as he would give the party a better chance in a contest. For Nigerians, majority of whom are youth, the 2023 contest is an election that will hardly represent their desire to have an energetic president. As it stands, it looks like a four-horse race among Tinubu, Atiku, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and Rabiu Musa Konkonso of the NNPP. Joining me on the show to unpack this is Ezekiel Nya-Etok, is the Director General, Nigeria First Project, pretty much later. Austyn, Ogannah, publisher of The Wheel, who also covered that APC primary, will be joining me. Good to see you, Ezekiel Nya-Etok, and thanks for your time. I recall we've had this conversation leading up to this moment. Here we are at the moment, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC. Did you see this coming?
First, let me correct you. It's not a four-horse. Interesting city of Abeokuta, where AD, the African Democratic Congress, is having a presidential primary. And in the midst, you have the likes of Chukwuka Monye, you have Kingsley Moghalu, you have Dumedi Kachiku, amongst others. And these are to start with three people that are primed to shake the national stage, politically, and change the narrative, give an alternative and an option. Now,
well, I'm afraid, Ezekiel, I think we'll have to reach out to you maybe over the phone, via phone. Now that we understand that you are somewhere where the internet penetration is a bit weak, so we can have the full essence of this conversation. A while ago, you did say, well, it's beyond a four-horse race. As soon as we get to you back, we should be able to... yes, I lost you for a bit when you were trying to tell us more about how many, political parties will be going head-to-head in that particular election, Ezekiel. Well, we hope to reconnect and have him join us. And the conversation in Nigeria has to do with who will the electorate be electing in 2023. Keep in mind, as it stands at the moment, we have those who didn't quite see the emergence of Bola Tinubu coming. But again, one critical thing here that a lot of people are saying that the APC has done is to look towards Nigeria's south, as many have agitated. But again, I'm sure when Ezekiel comes, he should also be able to let us in on why his political party is looking specifically towards Nigeria's southeast. Looking at others who came on the day, you have the former governor of Ogun State, Ibikola Amosu, and of course the seventh governor in Ekiti, Kayode Fayemi, and Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, all contesting that election. We saw that particular primary starting a bit late, and it took Nigerians into the ninth and the next day, culminating in the emergence of Bola Tinubu, who said that, well, if he hadn't emerged victorious, he would have been a little bit, pained that Nigeria's Senate President, Ahmad Lawan, contested that race with him. Keep in mind, Bola Tinubu had attempted to install or support Ahmad Lawan as Nigeria's Senate President, and he was only successful the second time after Bukola Saraki beat him to that in 2015. And looking at the conversation and the effect of the 13 northern governors, perhaps when we have Austyn Ogannah, he should be able to let us in on how the governors in northern Nigeria of the APC were able to swing this in favor of Bola Tinubu. At this point in time, I'll quickly go back to Ezekiel Nya-Etok. Ezekiel, apologies. We understand that the internet penetration is weak where you are at the moment. But again, let us in on what your party is doing as to, get into the race and have its own candidates that will slug it out with these other political parties that are already done and dusted with their primaries. Well, again, that's the sound of a drop call there. Well, we'll take a moment. When we'll come back, we'll dig in deep and see how this pans out. Stay with us. Well, we continue our conversation looking at the APC primary, which has already been concluded, and Austyn Ogannah joins me now. He's been covering that primary, and he was with us live. Austyn, good to see you, and well, thanks for all the heads up, and of course, some of the permutations and some of the great works done by your team at the Wheel newspapers leading up to this particular APC primary. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the presidential candidate of the APC. Perhaps it got to a point, a lot of people thought that it wasn't meant to be. Did this come to you as any surprise?
Oh, it's been an interesting last few days. So, thanks for having me again to share my views. Absolutely, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's emergence as the candidate, the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Party came to all of us as a big, huge surprise. Apparently, we're following developments. The feelers we're getting from the seat of power, the feelers we're getting from the leadership of the party, up till yesterday, did not give Bola Tinubu a chance. But apparently, I think the president's inability to stick to his initial endorsement of Lawan allowed the governors to pull the coup, because apparently what we heard and what we had reported earlier was that the president, for some strange reason, had decided to abandon his earlier position that that the presidency should actually go to the southeast zone. We understand that he was pressured by some people around him who believe, his influential relatives and associates around him pressured him into backing the Lawan option. And we understand he was confronted by someone very close to him, and he denied it, and he was, and the person said, if you're truly not behind the Lawan candidacy, you must issue a statement to deny that indeed Abdullahi Adamu, the party chairman, what he had said was incorrect. So the president had to direct his spokesperson to issue a statement, and this automatically left the Lawan project in limbo. And with this limbo and the governors themselves, the progressive governors themselves insisting on power returning to the South, there was a vacuum that the president refused to fill. And the governors, led by Ganduje of Kano, Nasiru El-Rufai, took up the gauntlet, and also Kebbi State Governor took up the gauntlet, showed leadership, decided to take on the cabal per se, because they were still insisting on driving the Lawan ticket, despite the president's, backing out of it. So these governors came together with this person that's very close to the president, who I don't want to mention, because we're developing a story around it. It decided, to back Asiwaju, and that was how the magic was done. Like I said when I was on your show yesterday, when I got out of the convention, you cannot discountenance the influence of governors of any political party. The governors are as powerful as in the PDP and the APC and any other political party that they belong to. As long as they have those numbers, they decide a lot. And what they did yesterday was to sort of save the All Progressives Party from an implosion.
Yeah, because I recall, sorry to butt in quickly here, because I recall you did use the word implosion, that you smell an implosion coming. Is it safe for us to say that the northern governors are the main winners in this election? Because according to Dr. Adetunji Ogunyemi, he's saying, well, they seem to be the main winners. Salute to their sense of national solidarity, brotherhood, loyalty, and equity.
Yes, apparently. We that promote equity in Nigeria, that want Nigeria to continue to remain, as one entity where there's peace, justice, and equity, we salute the governors, because the governors took a stand. If the governors had not taken the stand and maintained the stand, Ahmad Lawan would have been, from the Northeast, would have been the presidential candidate of the APC. But for the fact that the governors stood their ground, even if, it was for selfish, politics is selfish, they stood their ground because they wanted one of them to be the vice presidential candidate to whoever emerges from the South. This was their calculation. They did it for Nigeria and they did it for themselves as well. So either way, it was a win-win for them. And today, one of them will emerge. I want to believe that one of them will emerge the vice presidential nominee of the party, irrespective, I say this in quote, irrespective.
I lost you for a bit there, Austyn. Well, we do hope we can get Austyn back to complete his train of thoughts on the very likely person to run on the ticket with Bola Tinubu. He's already said it looks to be any of the governors from Nigeria's north. But again, Austyn, if you're there, one of the key concerns Nigerians are, have raised is the religious, affiliation of who becomes a running mate to the candidate of the APC. How possible is that, or what's the likelihood, looking at the religious angle, of getting a Christian running mate from Nigeria's northern part to run with Mr. Tinubu?
Can you hear me?
Now, Austyn, if you can get me here, we're looking at the situation at the moment, talking about the running mate of Bola Tinubu. You did say perhaps it might come from any of the northern governors, but Tinubu may go for a Muslim ticket. Is that what you're saying? And if that is, how does that look to pan out?
Well, it's because we've tried to look at the crop of governors that you have up in the north today. They're all Muslims. The only two people that come to mind in the current administration that have some kind of visible name recognition would be the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who's from Adamawa, Boss Mustafa, and also the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, who's a minority in Dogara, who's a minority in Bauchi. These are the only two people that come to mind right now. But I believe that a search may actually be widened outside the governors, to see if they can find a Christian with the name that resonates up north, to give the Tinubu ticket the kind of national balance that it needs when you consider religion. Because the truth is, the 2023 presidential election will appear to me to seem like a contest that will be decided along religion and ethnicity. Atiku Abubakar is a Muslim from Adamawa State, Northeast. Bola Tinubu is a Muslim from Lagos. Atiku is in the process, I believe they'll have till tomorrow or next to submit, the parties have till tomorrow, I believe, or next to submit to INEC the candidates of the party, the presidential and vice presidential candidates. I believe that Atiku will likely go to the southeast or clear around the south-south to balance that ticket, which is easier for him to do. But Tinubu will have to do a lot of work to find someone in the north, especially in the northwest, because that is where the votes are, to find someone in the northwest to balance his ticket.
Now talking about where the votes are, apologies, I'll come back to you so that we don't, run away from this. You did say that it's going to be easy for Atiku to find a Christian running mate, perhaps also from Nigeria's southeast. When you talk about how an easy task this could be for Alhaji Atiku, put the candidacy of the Labour Party in question. Some say that would have been easy if he were still within the PDP, talking about Peter Obi.
Could you repeat that question? Are you saying it would have been easier if Atiku had chosen P2B as his running mate? Could you repeat that?
I'm running, I'm stretching your analysis. You said it would be easy for Atiku to find a running mate, a Christian running mate, perhaps from Nigeria's southwest region. And I'm saying now that one of the most formidable voices and politician from Nigeria Southeast has left the PDP, what choices are there left with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
Well, I'm not sure I can hear you properly because the internet connection is a bit wacky, but I'll just expand on what I have said along the line of picking a vice presidential candidate. If P2B was probably still in the PDP, I don't know if Atiku would have picked him, but I want to believe that Atiku would have, because Atiku is emerging based on his record in 2019. That is what he ran with in this round of primaries, and that helped him because he could prove that, look, I lost, but this was how much votes that I got, and he got that with P2B on the ticket. So I think he may probably have picked P2B if P2B was still in the party. But now that P2B is no longer in the party, I want to believe that Atiku, for the actually 4 names that I hear, and maybe a surprise one, I don't want to drop the name, but she's an international female, very well known in Nigeria, very well known to have worked with PDP presidents. She's currently on an international assignment in the West. I hear she's under consideration. That's talking about Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I also hear that Emeka Ihedioha is also under consideration. I also hear that Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of Delta, and my home state, is under consideration. And then there's the governor of Akwa Ibom State in Udom Emmanuel, who I believe is also under consideration. I believe that between tomorrow and next, because I know that Atiku met with the PDP governors today. I want to believe to harmonize on this position. I want to strongly believe that we'll have an announcement on the PDP side in the next 24 to 48 hours. But on the APC side, that is where the challenge still is. I don't know. There is no one that readily, I don't know if Boss Mustafa can defeat or make an imprint in Adamawa State, because that's Atiku's home state. I don't see any merit in choosing Boss Mustafa, so that completely eliminates him. And I don't see any, reason in choosing a Dogara. Dogara is from the minority in Bauchi State. His influence is just within, a federal district. That's where his strength is. So how that adds value to the ticket, I don't know. So I still see the possibility, the chances that that the governors of the APC will. I still believe that they will go for a Muslim ticket. That is probably the only probable choice on the table today for them.
And now talking about chances, what are the chances of an upset by Peter Obi's growing youthful army and the ever-loyal Konkonsia of Kano?
Yes, I'd like to speak to that as well. There's a possibility, I don't want to rule it out that we might actually have a runoff. I'm not sure, but it's not something I want to dismiss outrightly with a wave of hand. No doubt, P2B has woken up or has recharged or has drawn in some kinds of voters that would probably not have had without him. We've seen the numbers from INEC I want to believe, over 11 million new voters, registrants, including myself. So I believe that, this election is still too early to call. Let's give it some time. It's still 7 months away. This is Nigeria. A lot of things happen in politics. They say a day is like a year. But it's possible that we might have a runoff. It's possible that we might have an outright winner on election day. Everything is still possible. It's still early. We just enjoy the drama and the thrills that goes with the with the presidential election season. We've just moved out from the primaries, and now we're entering the real deal, the real meat. But I also say when I talk to people that I will not discountenance Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigerian People's Party in the North. He is a formidable candidate. Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina are up for him, for the party to take. That is a fact. And if this happens, it sort of changes the political dynamics of the entire election. Then you also have Peter Obi, who could work magic in the Southeast and even in the Southwest and a part of the Midwest, appealing to younger voters, appealing to young people that want a different kind of Nigeria. But my thing is, will they come out forcefully to demand, the kind of change that they want with their PVCs? That is, still up in the air. We have time. Like I said, we're still at least 7 months away. So let's enjoy the period and just take a break from politics for about a week or 2 or 3 or 4, because I have been soaked into these primaries. I need to get away from politics for at least a month.
Well, the good thing that we're catching up with you before you take that very much needed break off politics and come back. But quickly here, Austyn, let's talk more about the evolution of Nigeria's politics, because what's at play now would seem as a kind of evolution that some have called a welcome development, that Nigeria's democracy is evolving. And now, for the very first time in a long time, a third party and a fourth party is being mentioned. Time was where it's always been a two-horse race. So, let us in on what you hope to see, in another 4 years that Nigeria may likely get into another election year.
You see, we keep saying that 2023 is very important for Nigeria's trajectory to success and growth. It is very important. And so far, we're being thrown, I call it thrown, because I don't think we have the best of the best yet. But, I always say if life throws you lemons, make something good with it. We want a Nigeria that is productive. We want a Nigeria that produces what it uses. We want a Nigeria that stops importing petroleum products. We want a Nigeria that depends less on import. We want a Nigeria that can provide basic quality healthcare to its people. We want a Nigeria that leaders are accountable. We want a Nigeria that is secure, that I can drive or get on a train from Abuja to Kaduna, or from Abuja, drive from Abuja to Benin, or drive from Benin to Lagos without being afraid of being kidnapped or being attacked. Every Nigerian wants to live in peace. Every Nigerian wants, a system, an education system that their wards can go to and learn and contribute to nation building. I just hope that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Governor Peter Obi, and Rabiu Kwakwanso all understand the dynamics, all understand the importance of Nigeria getting it right from 2023, and are willing to push, to make sacrifices, to make sure that in the next 1 year into the administration, these problems are seriously addressed. Because Nigeria today is in a mess. We all know it. We all understand the problems. What we just lack are leaders that have the will, wisdom, and capacity to drive the change that we need. To get this country working, if you're sincere, is not the difficult thing. The problem is that they just don't care. What they care about are not the things that we care about. So the leaders, our political leaders, must start caring about the things that its people care about. Because that is the only way we can have a productive society. That is the only way they can live in peace, and we can live in peace. Because if they continue to run the country the way it's currently being run, they will not be able to sleep in their homes. They will not be able to drive their luxury cars.
And where does the very young, vibrant, energetic Nigerian youth, come in?
You see, Nigerian youths are very good at mobilization. They're very good at rallying around issues and causes on social media. I am hoping that they can get more involved, in real time with the political parties, with the candidates. Look, we have 4 candidates now, presidential candidates, whether we like it or not, except something, sudden happens, which of course we don't pray happens. But at least we have 4 people that we can work with, that the youths can choose from, and then go to the streets and mobilize for these 4 people. It's a game of interest. It's a game of choice. Nobody's balkanizing anyone towards any particular candidate. But the youths must choose whoever it is among these candidates, because these are the 4 leading candidates. In my own estimate, I don't think any other political party, has the capacity to upstage any of these 4 aspirants anywhere in the country. So the youths themselves must come out, choose one of these candidates, and mobilize resources, mobilize votes, do advocacy for them. I know that we have a challenge in this country, especially amongst the illiterates, because sadly, these are the people that decide most of our elections. They are the ones that that get these votes up from the north, that usually changes the dynamics. And even in the southwest as well, and the southeast, these are the people that they mobilize, politicians mobilize to the polls to deliver votes. So how to get their message, the message across to these people, will actually help determine the kind or the kinds of candidates that we elect into political offices.
Now let me throw this in.
The elites don't vote.
Yes. Austyn, apologies. Let me throw this in. Now, yes, the elites don't, vote, but listening to you, this is historic for Nigeria, and the whole essence of moving this to Nigeria's southern part has to do with justice, equity, and have you ever thought of how the country can quell tribal, religious, and ethnic sentiments at the moment?
You see, when you create jobs, when people are employed, when people have things to do. When people have monies in their pockets, the least thing they think about is religion. The least thing they think about is how to cause chaos. The least they think about is how to promote a particular ideology that unsettles the country. To deal with this, government needs to, or rather, we as a people, I keep saying government, but the truth is we as a people need to start doing things. We need to start being patriotic. Patriotic in the sense that we must see ourselves as potential employers of people. We must see ourselves as people that are ready to look after our neighbors. If we start behaving differently, if we start understanding that we're a reflection of our societies, we're a reflection of our country, then we'll start beginning to solve this problem. But if I'm unable to feed myself, for instance, I turn the anger into the next man, and the next man who is also unable to feed himself turns the anger into the next man and uses religion or ethnicity or whatever it is as a reason for their frustration. So, to fix this problem, we need to see ourselves as potential employers. We need to be productive. We need to be productive. We need to either be employed. If you're employed, be productive in the place that you're working, which means you have to go to work early, which means you have to do what you're supposed to do when you're at work, not doing something else that is not adding value to the company.
So in other words, Austyn, there's also the followers, angle, which must also be worked on.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where leadership comes in, because the truth is, everyone looks up to someone for direction. There are people that I look forward to, to emulate what they do. It's the natural progression, of how our societies are. So how the leaders lead is also very important. And this is why you see the way the country is today, it just points to one particular thing, the kinds of leaders that we have. These leaders, they just talk without, without much action. How do you justify, for instance, paying billions of naira, budgeting trillions of naira to cover for petroleum subsidy? That is absurd. Subsidies that does not get to the people that really need them. Everybody has said, let the subsidy go. But for some reason, this government is still holding on to it. I don't understand. But, these are the kinds, of things that our leaders do that give the wrong, that carry the wrong message to us that are following them. How do you have corruption cases in a country that is plagued by corruption? You have corruption cases in our court system running for years without a resolution. How do you run a country with weak institutions? How do you run a country with a weak police force? How do you run a country with a compromised judiciary? So the problems are enormous. But we're hoping that when these leaders, or when the new leader emerges, because this administration is obviously winding down, probably we have just about a year to go. So this administration is on its way out. So we must look beyond this administration to help the incoming administration, to point them towards where they need to go, where they need to show urgency. Because the truth is, I don't like where we are. I don't think anyone likes where we are today as a people and as a country. We're so divided. But thank God for the progressive governors that put their foot on the ground, that power must return to the South. Nigeria would have imploded. So they are the true patriots. So these are the kinds, of qualities that we want from leaders that will take tough decisions, very tough decisions to move the country in the right direction. And I hope that, with what has happened today, we continue to build and build and build and find that right president in 2023 that will do those things that we want our leaders to do so that we can contribute our own quota to nation building.
Yeah, first, before Austyn, looking at the candidates, Peter Obi inclusive, even though not too distant, a time. Many Nigerians have said that looking at the veteran politicians or the old politicians, they didn't just come on the fray, in the fray. They've been there in their youth till this moment, and making us ask the question: how enticing is politics that will make a young Nigerian go in there and see the essence of politics, which is development of a society?
I didn't get that question, but I want to believe that
I'm looking at the candidates, the older politicians who have been able to cut their teeth through the process. They've been there. Some of them have been there from the first or the second republic. You can't find, a very young Nigerian today who's been able to have that staying power to remain relevant in politics. So how can, we make politics, they're talking about Nigeria, the country, how can Nigeria make politics, an interesting, path chosen by young Nigeria?
First things first, everything, has to do with the quality of education that young ones are getting. Our school system is so messed up that even at some point, pupils were no longer taught history. The history of Nigeria, how Nigeria came about, the Civil War, the interest, the lead, how to lead and stuff like that. To get young people actively involved in politics, we need to cut the influence of money in Nigerian politics. Today, look at what the political parties did. To run for House of Reps or to run for House of Assembly, aspirants were being made to cover as much as 1 million, 2 million, just to purchase forms. You have not done consultations within your community. You have not campaigned. It will cost you probably 20 million naira or 30 million naira to run for in this country today. If you live in the metropolis, it will cost you probably 20 million to run or 30 million to run for a House of Reps seat. Where's the young man going to get that money from? To gamble it, to throw it into politics that is neither here nor there. So we need to reduce the influence of money in our politics and have political parties that are driven by ideologies. If you have political parties that are driven by ideologies, you have people that will naturally gravitate.
Well, again, I think I have this glitch again on. Let's see if we can close on this quickly here, Austyn. We're yet to hear from other political parties like the SDP, and of course, perhaps we'll be talking about quality of candidates, and it's looking more like a richer array of politicians. So who has the quality to make a difference for the country with the peculiarity of our challenges?
if you ask me, it's a tough question, but we have to make tough decisions if we have to move this country forward. There are two main issues with Tinubu and Atiku, and it's the issue of age. That they will make good presidents is not in doubt. But my problem with their candidacy is age and their state of health, their mental alertness, their physical alertness. So that's the challenge for me. P2B is young, he's 60, he's strong, he's agile, he comes from the private sector, we've seen his track record. And so he's been around politics, very strong administrator, having occupied executive positions as governor of Kaduna, and also I think he was Minister of Defense at some point under the Obasanjo, either Obasanjo or Goodluck Jonathan regime. I can't recall right now. But I think we have, strong leaders in amongst these four candidates. And, we have to, on voting day, we have to choose one of these people. And I believe that if one of these people are elected, we the people can guide them. Because the truth is, the president is just there to show leadership. If he picks the right team, he has to pick the right team. It's the team that will do the work under his guidance. It's the team that will deliver on his vision. They have to pick the right people to deliver. And I even want the candidates to even up the ante before the elections by constituting their cabinets. We want to elect a president that is ready to work from day one. So what I expect the candidates to do, because the stakes are so high today, is before the elections, during the campaigns, let us have your team. Let us know who your minister for economy is. Let us have an idea of the composition of your team. Let us know the members of the economic team. Let us know the drivers of the economy. Let us know what your priorities are, how you want to drive it. Let us see the people. Let us see your first 11. We just don't want to see the captain of the team. We want to see the first 11. While you're campaigning for our votes, let's see your top 11. Let's see it. It will help us determine who we'll vote for. And I think that would be the joker, really, because these four aspirants tend to sell the same thing, except that, one or two are tainted with corruption. One or two probably, don't look too healthy. One or two probably have age issues. But that's that. We can overlook all that. Let us see your top 11. That will help us determine how we vote. That is the truth. And if you are sincere about working from day one, they should right now be putting together their cabinet. Let us have the people that will run the show with you. That will help Nigerians choose. And I believe that this would even help the candidates even do better, because the quality in your team will determine how well you play on the pitch. So we can liken what happens on the pitch in a soccer game to what will happen during the first 4 years of your administration.
Well,
I am using this opportunity.
I see the picture. You're telling Nigerians that what they have experienced earlier, especially during the first term of President Buhari, that took almost more than 6 months before
Absolutely.
he was able to constitute his panel. Austyn, I'd like to thank you for your time. And we do hope that you have a good rest and come back fresher than fresh for us to talk more on, politics in Nigeria as well as other national development. We also like to thank Ezekiel and Nya-Etok, irrespective of that bad connectivity to where he is at the moment. We hope to reconnect with him subsequently. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sulaiman. Bye-bye.